Hey crafty people, it's Tasha here for Trinity Stamps. Today I'm going to be sharing 2 ideas for gift tags that are really going to add some wow factor to your holiday gifts this year. So I'm starting with the Cut and Foil Snowflake. Now the first idea that I've got here does include some hot foiling, but I have another idea that includes no hot foiling as well. So if you don't hot foil, then stick around, there's still something for you too. So I chose this, I think it's called Moonstone. It's like a blue foil, bit holographic-y, and I'm just trimming it around roughly around the size of the snowflake. Because if you've got too much excess foil, then that's going to increase the risk of overfoiling. So I'm just positioning it on a piece of £120 accent opaque cardstock. I'm just using a bit of low tack tape to keep that in place, and then I'm going to pop that onto my glimmer. I'm not going to go into too much depth about how you do the hot foiling, but we do have plenty of videos on that as well. So after I've run that through my die machine, I'm going to use the tool to get it off because it is going to be really hot. Once I've got the snowflake off, I can do the reveal and show you how beautiful this snowflake foils. It's gorgeous. Now, although this first idea does involve the hot foiling, that snowflake set, if you don't do hot foiling, it is still a really, really great set to have in your stash because it comes with 3 dies as well, so you can cut out a really beautiful and intricate snowflake, layered snowflake, even without using the hot foil. So here I've used some aura foil on black cardstock. It's just gorgeous. If you don't hot foil, you could use one or more of the layers for the snowflake. Cut your tag first and then add that snowflake on and just trim it around the sides, and you're going to get a very similar look to this. You know, if you use foil cardstock or some glitter cardstock, you really are going to get a similar look. I'm just using a little brush there to get all the excess foil off. And then I'm going to use the smallest of the standard tags from this Slimline Tags set. Now it does come with hole reinforcers, which I've flashed up on screen here. Unfortunately, I've misplaced mine. So I have substituted for the hole protectors that are in the mini slimline envelope set. So it's just showing you a different style of protector as well, and also it reinforces, and also it shows that you can mix and match and use bits from different sets all together. So I've cut 2 of them from silver and gold. So I've got silver on the white and blue tag, and I've got gold on the black tag. They're both glittery. I cut an extra of the tags from the same accent opaque £120 cardstock. I've added the other hole reinforcers to those, and then I'm going to sandwich them together just to add a bit more stability and also to give me somewhere to write on that black one. So once I've got those all in place, I've got some vellum here. This is just a scrap of vellum, and I'm just going to use a couple of the snowflakes from the Winter Winds stamp set. I've just popped them onto an acrylic block on either side, and then I'm just going to stamp them out with some Wow embossing ink. So I'm just randomly stamping them. Don't mind if they are sort of touching each other or anything. And then I'm going to add some white superfine embossing powder. I did go back and stamp a few more because I realised I needed a little bit of a larger area. So I heat set those, gave them a few seconds to dry. Not dry, cool. Cool, I mean. And then I cut 2 of the round tags from the set out of that and set them aside. So now I'm going to work on the bit that's going to have my actual sentiment on. I cut the smallest of the tags twice from the same cardstock, and then I'm stamping Happy Christmas on each of them, and that is from the Simply Sentimental Happy set. I decided I wanted a little bit more of a contrast for the white tag, so I did just blend in a little bit of blue ink from the bottom with my blending buddy. These are awesome for really when you just want a little bit and really gentle ink blending. It's easy to fade out with them. So I cut some metallic thread, and then I cut a lot more than I needed, and then I folded it in half and in half again to give me sort of like multi-strand thread, if that makes sense. And then I threaded it through the Sentiment tag first, then the round snowflake tag, and then the large tag, and just tied that in a knot. I really love how that looks, and I love having like tags on tags on tags. And I did the same for the white and blue tag, but with silver thread. And on the back I stamped to and from the Holiday Helper stamp set. There's loads of different style to and froms, and all sorts of things on there that are really helpful when you are gifting, hence the Holiday Helper. So now, idea number 2. I've cut the next largest, like the next one up from the last tag we made, from the same accent opaque cardstock, and I've positioned the really beautiful Merry Christmas sort of scripty sentiment, and then I'm stamping it down in some really deep ruby ink using my stamp buddy to help get a really good clean image. Then here I've got some score tape. I've got the different widths and I really like to mix them up a little bit. It doesn't have to be score tape, but that's my preference. Just needs to be some really strong adhesive. Wet glue wouldn't really work. I think that would be a bit messy. So I'm just adding some stripes basically. So I've got 3 stripes of this, I think it's a 1/4 inch tape, and then I'm adding 2 stripes of the 1/2 inch tape. I do also have an 1/8 of an inch tape, but I decided not to use that today. So once I've got those on, and I just trim the edges with some long bladed scissors, and then peel off the release tape for 3 of those stripes, and I'm adding, this is some superfine Essentials glitter from Wow. This is the gold dust colour. It's really beautiful. So I peeled off 3 of the release tapes and added gold to that, and I'm just using a brush to get off any of the excess glitter. It probably will stick to the plastic of, like, because it's like a plasticky, isn't it, the release tape on the other ones, but you can just brush that off. So I removed the release tape for the last couple of stripes, and then I'm just adding some, I think this one's called Stroke of Midnight, something like that. I'll have them linked anyway. And I added that on the other stripes. Now I'm going to work on my vocal image for this, and I've got just a scrap of cardstock, and I am going straight to paper with that same ruby ink that I stamped with, and I just want an area that is large enough to cut this little candy cane. I can't remember the die set that it's from, but it will be linked below. So once I've got that cut, I got some more of that cardstock and added some of that thicker score tape to it, and trimmed it down so I've got a rough sort of outline, and then I'm adding, this is crystal glitter, which again is from Wow, and these glitters are really super fine, so when you add them, if you just do, as you can see I'm doing here, I'm just sort of gently burnishing it in, then that glitter's locked in and that's not going to come off, and it goes smooth. It just feels like glitter cardstock, a really nice one. So I added some glue to the back of that red die cut, and made sure that I press that down and give that a few moments to dry before I then trimmed round the edge. So here is another of the whole reinforcers that came from that mini slimline envelope set. This one is just like a round one. It's got a bit of stitch detail. It's beautiful. I cut that from gold glitter cardstock. Then I added foam tape to the back of my candy cane, and I did add a little bit of wet glue as well, just to make sure that it's really well stuck down. And then I added some of the Snowflake white, I can't remember what the name is, but some of the white gems, and that they look so pretty. And here is my little box of embroidery thread. I chose a colour that I thought worked, and I did the same, folding it over and over again to give me like multi-strand in one, and then tied it. And then there you go. Here are my tags. I've made 3 tags. There's 2 different ideas for you there. I love making holiday tags to add to my presents. I just think that they are really special. And when you do make something beautiful like this, the person can use them as decorations. Maybe they're going to put them on their tree or something, and they'll keep them forever. So I hope that you like the tags and you like the ideas. Do you make holiday tags? Let me know in the comments below. And yeah, I hope that you'll give it a go, because it's so much fun. And I love that mini slimline tag set, because there's so many different tags in different sizes. So yeah, that's awesome. I hope that you will give a thumbs up if you like the video. There are some more videos on screen for you to watch now, should you wish. And also I hope that you will subscribe if you aren't already. I hope that you have a lovely, happy, safe and wonderful week. Stay crafty. Bye.